The world just changed again. China's new tariffs on rare earth exports have sent shockwaves through global supply chains. And suddenly all eyes are turning to Australia. Because as Beijing tightens control, local producers and developers here could be on the verge of a once-in-a-generation opportunity, one that could reshape the entire critical minerals landscape. We'll unpack 3 ASX rare earth stocks perfectly positioned to ride this global shift, plus a surprise bonus pick at the end and a very special giveaway for our loyal Wealth Within community. After decades of guiding investors through every major market cycle, we've seen moments like this before. And this one is big. I'm Philip Tortevsky, joined by analyst Pedro Banales, and we are Wealth Within. Good evening, buddy. How are you?
Good evening, Phil. We're in for an interesting October.
Yes, it's been quite a while since Trump has caused mayhem on the markets, but let's dive straight into it. Fresh tariffs and a huge opportunity might have just landed in the lap for Australia's rare earth players. Pedro, let's start there. Obviously, the tariff scenario coming out recently is shining a spotlight on this sector here. So please give us what's happened and why this is affecting the Aussie rare earth players right now.
Oh, it sure is. And look, in a nutshell, the Chinese government has come out and put export restrictions on 5 more rare earth elements. So this brings it to a total of 12 rare earth elements that have restrictions on them and are required to have import licenses by certain, even other countries that are exporting them. If they're touching Chinese production or refinement, they're going to have those restrictions on them. So to give you an idea, there's 17 rare earth elements all up. So, this brings it to 12. That's basically, we're on the way to all of them. That's why we're seeing the Australian rare earth miners picking up now.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, well, let's dive into our first stock, which is Arafura Resources. Now, we'll go to the chart on that one, Pedro. And I mean, this one is a developer, so it's important to identify, are we looking at developers, producers, refiners? This one is a developer, and it's already positioning itself as a dedicated rare earths company. With the China restrictions, obviously, it could attract strategic investment. We are seeing the rare earth players take off today on the market as well. So what I like about Arafura, obviously Iluka, Lynas Rare Earths was one that we called many, many months ago, and it's been flying. So it's looking about what opportunities exist today and looking purely more in the rare earth, the pure rare earth players, or as close as possible to pure, because there's no point looking at this if it's already at $1.50, 60, the opportunity had run. But what's really nice about Arafura right now, 13 cents, such an important level. Look how long it had been resistance, becoming support. It tested 3 times recently, and we've just broken out of this huge consolidation pattern. I mean, I don't know how many times we've shown this kind of stuff on the show, and a lot of our students are emailing in, really getting on these huge opportunities, purely just looking at the stuff we teach. So it's quite fascinating and eye-opening when you're seeing it full into practice. But big breakout. What I like is the breakout has happened on large volume. And so right now it's about, for me, identifying where those next levels of resistance might be for this stock and how you're going to transact to get that best risk reward opportunity. And I mean, if we look at that 42, 41.5 cent level, there is a bit of resistance there, which the stock is approaching or will be soon. If it can get through there clearly, then there isn't much resistance all the way up to that 71, 72 cent level. And if we are on the verge of a brand new breakout, I mean, you've just got to take one look at this chart, big picture, and see really what's happened. You've got that nice expansion, huge contractionary period. This is typical of what you see markets at bottoms when they're accumulating. Now we're starting to break out into an expansion, healthy pullback, second accumulation. This looks like it's ready for its next expansive leak, Pedro. And if that is the case, obviously set for a big run, and 72 cents is where you would be thinking from a longer term picture. But I want to get your thoughts obviously on this chart also, and give us your feedback in terms of people looking to just blatantly buy these runs once they've gone and taken off, versus being able to skillfully identify the best risk reward scenario through price action. And again, I'll say it, a lot of things we do teach out there in terms of getting the right opportunity more so than just buying the FOMO.
Yeah, it's definitely about the timing. You don't want to just get in on these just because of the story. I'll just add to that This company, Arafura, actually received a 533 million USD funding from the government. So they are being backed by the Australian government, which adds a little bit of a bonus onto there. So getting onto the chart here, and I believe I do have the updated 15-minute lagging data on this stock from Optima. And you can see that the market is up quite heavily up today. So the stock is up around that 20%. So we are reaching to that 40-cent level, that resistance that you mentioned earlier. So that's going to act like a bit of resistance. Another thing that I would add here on the monthly chart, and this goes back to a question I actually received today from a student about recognizing what phases stocks are in. And without going into too much detail, obviously I can't on this show, but I will direct him to this because this shows a clear, expansion and contraction. And now we are seeing what is looking like the expansion phase again. And you can clearly tell by what's happening here on the right-hand side of the chart. We do have a nice basing here around that 10-cent level. And now we've had this interesting pattern that has unfolded here on the weekly. And then we've got a break to the upside. I mean, everything on this is telling you it's textbook. But again, it is about timing it because you wouldn't want to be getting in on this previous move here in March 2024, only to see your position erode around that 49%. And you would be probably either holding it or out by that stage, only for the stock to then rise again. So you want to make sure that you've got a lot of confirmation here and using the chart really for your entries rather than the story by itself.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because obviously when you look at that, like you said, FOMO will be coming into the picture. But I mean, is it a completely blanket no for you when you see a stock run like this? And give us some explanation on why. Because let's just say hypothetically, I'm a long-term investor and I look at today's move and I think, well, I'm going to hold it for a while. Why not just buy it right now? And I probably know your answer that's coming. But what gives you the confidence then to say, okay, you know what, it's run, but for me, I'm still going to wait for that opportunity? Is it knowing how the market is likely to perform that you'll get another opportunity or something else completely?
It's definitely by doing what we're doing here is identifying resistance levels, technical levels. Price will tell you everything. It's not biased. It can't, mix the truth or anything like that. It is what it is. Price action tells you everything. So really, we want to see the stock doing certain things, which will tell us what the activity of buyers are doing and against what the activities of sellers are doing. And that's what's really going to give us an indication as to whether it's a time to get in or not.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, now, as you've seen here, those techniques, we do show there is an introduction to that in this book, How to Beat the Managed Funds by 20%. It's by Dale Gillham. It is free. You just have to pay the shipping. As you've seen over the last couple of months, there's never been a better time to actually learn how to trade the stock market properly. Do those things, as Pedro just mentioned, in terms of identifying the best risk-reward scenarios and reading the price action to give you those trading opportunities. There's so many more that we could show, but we don't on this show. And if you do want to take things serious to that point, please go and check out our website, wealthwithin.com.au. We do have a government-accredited diploma in share trading and investment. You won't find better. But anyway, let's move on to the next stock, which is Hastings Technology. Now, before we dive into this one, stay with us because next up we have a special gift. That's right, for our Wealth Within graduates, along with a bonus rare earth stock at the end of this video, which you have probably never heard of, but it's got the potential for massive upside. But now let's get to Hastings Technology, Pedro, on that chart and take a bit of a look in terms of what's happening. This one here is, if I bring up the monthly chart or zoom this out so we can read it, it's a developer as well. So we're coming into our second developer with good project development profile. It can, if it can bring in the operations online, it could capture premium as demand outstrips supply, obviously. And what's really interesting to me, again, about this one, I'll keep it brief, I'll let you take charge, but volume, the highest it's ever been, that's something. And the volume is in on a breakout following a huge period of accumulation. Now, that is, I guess, for me, time to start looking at this kind of stock, even though it's been coming off a serious correction. But I won't take away the analysis. Please, mate, give us the analysis on HAS.
Yeah, that's looking pretty nice, isn't it? That's the first signs of the start of something great. What I like about this company, I'll quickly touch on this, is their mine to magnet project that they have. So that's basically extracting the rare earth from the ground, and then they're processing it to a certain point, and that's in the process of turning it into a magnet. So that's coming online, and apparently they're due to have some production by the end of this year. So, that's promising by itself, and that's probably why we're seeing the price shoot up. Now, another thing that I like technically on the chart is that you can actually be justified in looking for an entry now, because throughout this whole period, around 2024 all the way to 2025, I mean, could you have justified really an entry around this bottom here? You're basically just bottom picking. Yes, there's certain trading rules, but you want more confirmation than that. And I think that that's what we're seeing the start of now. Like you mentioned, we're starting to see volume coming in. And now if we see certain price action happening, maybe we'll see a bit of a pullback and then a bit of a rebound. If it does something like this, it comes back down to that 50-cent level and then breaks above that previous high. That's going to be a great confirmation, depending on your risk profile, of course. But look at the upside of this one. It's huge. From this level here, from 60 cents, we've got 134% to that next heavy resistance level. And then if we take it at a next level further, that's another 50%. It's almost 200% if you get your entry right. And that's what it's all about. It's getting your entry right. We already know that the story is there. It's got the tailwind from this whole tariff situation happening. The company's looking good, but now it's about timing your entry and making sure that you're getting in at the right time. You don't want to be getting in at these levels around that $1.20 only for it to see a pullback and then you sell out of your position because of that fear, and then the stock comes back and takes off again. So really, you need to know how to read these certain actions to be able to get in at the most opportune time.
Yeah, well said. All right, let's move on now. Time for our third stock, which is Iluka Resources. But remember, we have our bonus stock coming right up. So stick with us. Now, let's get to the chart of Iluka. And for me, this one, I mean, Iluka, obviously, it's moving towards becoming a rare earth refiner. It does have other operations outside of rare earths, but it is ever increasingly getting into this space. And it can serve, becoming a refiner, it can serve both its own stockpiles and third-party feed, capturing margin in processing, which is quite nice. Now, to me, there's been two battlegrounds for Iluka, or two major opportunities for this stock if you've been watching it since 2024. The first level, which I haven't marked, where there was an opportunity for that more deep value type bottom picking play, was around this $3.30, anywhere to $3.60. There was an opportunity and we saw some big volume come in around that low. The second big battleground for me, the most important price for Iluka, has been $6.40. And that dates back all the way to 2011. So yes, if you're out there saying, well, does price analysis, is it still important from 10 or 11 years ago, 15 years ago? The answer is yes, because look at since 2011, how important 640 has been. It held the stock up all those years. It broke through and bounced off it on that recent run, tested there, had a bit of a run. When it broke through, it tested 640 before making the leg up. So to me, this has been the major battleground. We're there now. And the fact that we've broken up really allows me to now make the judgment call to say, all right, well, what happens next? What happens on this touch of the $6.40 if we do get it? But as long as we're holding above 640, it's now proven against the major level that would potentially reverse this stock. So for me, it's a case of we're bullish. If you've missed this initial run up on Iluka, which was potentially the higher risk, not potentially, definitely the higher risk move, you would have had to been really tight with your application or trying to get in and have sound risk and money management rules. That being said, there was definitely opportunities to get in through this leg. But now that we've cleared it with confirmation, we've taken out 640, the major battleground. Now you can continue to watch this stock for opportunities. As long as it holds above there, I think it's got a very real possibility, albeit there might be some short-term resistance around this level here, which it's happened to find in the past. I think the opportunity could lend itself all the way up to that $11 level next, which means there's a lot of upside left for a stock like Iluka. But as always, like Pedro said, getting the risk reward right, getting the timing of your entry right is what's going to separate you from buying FOMO and then getting stopped out versus getting in on a nice risk adjusted or risk calculated price unfolding and then riding that move up to give you what it's going to give you. And if you get in right, that's the secret. If you can read this price action and get in right, it's going to allow you to trail it so that you can keep most of your profit, because it's about how you get out as well, not just how you get in. And so for me, again, you look at volume, big volume come in on this major low. We have seen bigger volume in the past, but it has ticked up drastically relative to what we've seen back towards that COVID period, which was another major low. So I think bullish now, broken major battlegrounds. Time to watch this for trading opportunities. Pedro, what are your thoughts, mate?
Phil, I think you touched on a great point there. I mean, about knowing when to sell. And this is something that I speak to a lot of traders about. They know how to buy. Obviously, anybody knows how to buy. But it's when to sell that's the key thing. And that's why they come to us and say, well, I'm holding these stocks. Some of them are in profit, some of them are in a loss. When do I sell? And that's the key point here. And that level that you outlined there at $8 on the chart of Iluka, I think that's going to be a very important resistance level for this stock moving forward. I'll just expand out the weekly chart. So $8 is a critical level. Now, are you going to sell just because it hits that resistance level? Well, I would say if you're an astute trader, you wouldn't be selling just because it hit a certain resistance level, because it could actually blast its way through it. Or it could do something like this, come back to this momentum line and then break above it again. It's just the ebbs and flows of this stock. Now, in terms of the entry, I mean, look at that. All you needed to do was put a nice little, momentum there, and you've got a clear entry. You've got volume coming in. You've got everything, that's needed. Without going into too much detail, of course, there's other things that we use to confirm this, but you don't have to. You don't have to put all these indicators on the chart. You don't need to use, RSIs, MACDs, influx capacitors, or anything like that. Just keep it simple. Put your money management rules into place and just trail it up. I actually really like Iluka Resources medium to long term. And I think that it's going to provide a nice opportunity in the short term as well.
All right, now moving on. Are you looking for the next big thing on the ASX? That one stock that could shoot the lights out? Then don't miss your chance to uncover hidden gem high value microcap companies at the 14th Annual Australian Microcap Investment Conference. We are giving you a chance to attend for free. It's on at the Sofitel Hotel in Melbourne on Tuesday, October the 21st and Wednesday the 22nd. And we've got 15 free tickets just for Wealth Within students and graduates. Now, if you're in Melbourne and available on those dates and want to attend, email now with the subject line Australian Microcap Conference 2025. The first 15 to get in will get in free. Don't wait, email now as the tickets will go fast. Now, all right, let's get into our bonus stock. Pedro, what have you got for us here?
All right, so this is a dark horse in all of this. This is the Northern Minerals Ltd, ticker code NTU. Now, these company, they produce dysprosium and terbium. These are critical for the turbines, wind turbines, EVs, even in the defense industry. It's very critical. Now, it's forming a very interesting pattern here. If we start on the monthly chart, first of all, I'm just going to put a base on it. And this is just going to be quite clear what's happening over here. So it has bounced off 1 cent twice over a long period of time, and now it's moving up. Again, going back to what we teach our students, refer back to module 5. That's all I'll say there. Now, the next level of resistance, I would say, is 7 cents. That's the critical next level of resistance. So to that level, we've got 45%. Currently, today, it's up around that. I mean, this is lagging data for 15 minutes. It's currently up from yesterday's close, 16%. So we are seeing a bit of action here, on the daily. Now, I'll just move back so everybody can see here on the weekly chart. This was very interesting. That was telling us that something was happening. We saw some volume come in earlier in September 2024. Then we saw it base out, and now we are seeing more and more volume come into it. And we do see volume start to rise as the move is rising up. And it's pointing up. The sellers are not coming in heavily. It's closing on the high. If it closes high for this week, it's going to be a very bullish sign. So I do quite like it. Let's see what happens when it breaks above this 55 cents, not 50 cents, I should say. What happens when it closes above this 5 cent level? That's going to be, for me, the real indicator of whether, we're moving to a more substantial move up or not.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add on my chart really quickly that this stock here, it is a developer. It's almost a producer, but it is specialized heavily focusing on rare earths. So if you want a niche type play in the rare earth space, all of them are today that we've seen, but this one especially, have a good look at it. Obviously, it is a bit more speculative than the others. But if you want more hot stock tips, check out our video, 3 ASX tech stocks to buy now and win big.